All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Not Our Year, Doug.
Nah,
This is not our year. But what a
wasn't.
year it was, Douglas. What a
Oh,
year it
dude,
was.
that was awesome.
It was.
I'm finally. God damn it! I love that Harry Rose clip. That TikTok. There's a 4 minute thing. If you guys haven't seen, Mike or Josh, both of you, you sent it like the day of when we lost,
Correct.
or the day after, whatever. I wasn't ready to watch it for the next couple of days. But look, I'm gonna crack open this beer. It's called The Art of Storytelling. It's from New York, Garnerville. Not sure where that is. Whatever. I think The Art of Storytelling was an Outkast song, right? Or somebody. But either way, Howie Rose told that story, the story of the Mets season, and just so succinctly wrapped it up. Just how much fun that was, that entire experience. Well, at least like the last, July, August, September, October. Maybe August, 3 months of just incredible baseball, man. So here's to Howie, here's to the Mets, here's to Tommy, here's to you, and here's to all the Mets fans out there, man. That was a hell of a good time. So
Yeah.
cheers to the 2024 Mets. I am
Cheers.
wearing my black, and usually when we're wearing black on this show, we're cursing a team that came up short, but I ain't even mad. How are you?
Yeah, I think when it comes to disappointing seasons, right? I try to like you're like the annals of the New York Mets. Like you remember every season, good or bad, what happened. I black out the seasons that suck. So I only really remember like in retrospect a few seasons, right?
I'm
I'll
better
remember.
though at those when I was younger. Like some of
Yeah, but
these
you're still
late
better than me.
Wilpon seasons all ran together. But yeah, no,
Dude,
I'm with you.
The Brody Van Wagenen era
Yeah.
and like the six different GMs, the Sandy Alderson era, like all that
Oh
shit.
nine,
All
19 basically, other than 15, is all the same to me. It's just
right. I'm like,
a
oh,
great year.
that guy was on our team at that. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
But
Either way, though, yeah,
so you're better than me at that.
I'm
But
that guy.
what I thought about actually after the season ended was a this is a season I'll remember, even though we didn't win. This is a season that will be it'll go down in my annals of being able to recall the 2024 Mets. Right? There's
It's
so
always
many
great
different
when things are going down on annals.
on yeah we like annals.
Oh,
So
yeah, especially going down in it. Yeah, dude. Is this a top five season? Top three
probably. I
in
mean,
our lifetimes, not Mets
yeah.
history. So I can't
No,
count 69.
I mean, yeah.
I do count 86 for me. Your
I
mileage may
kind of
vary.
remember 86. Like, I remember some of the stuff, and there's been so many moments replayed from that season that, it's tough to forget, right? Like, the things that happen. I've read the books. So,
No one's knocking that out of the first slot,
no,
barring
ever. And I think I
ridiculousness.
would
But
say, even though in 88 we should have won and we didn't win, that was also a great season because we were like, if you remember that year, like, we cruised. Like, we were
dominant.
dominant. There's like the only reason that we lost the 88 was two things.
Mike Scioscia and Oral
Well,
Hershiser.
Oral Hershiser, if you want to say Mike Scioscia, and cocaine. So those three
Yeah,
things derailed our season, right? So
and but again, that season ended with bitter disappointment,
bitter
and
disappointment, right?
it was also the end of that team, for more or less. Yeah, that was the end of their run.
100%. I mean, then the
And
Dykstra Juan Samuel trade happened after that year, correct?
yeah,
I believe so,
correct.
right? And
Yes.
McDowell and Dykstra for Samuel, and I don't know what the hell else we got back.
That was it. And look, they faked it. They were 90-win teams the next 2 years, I think, but it was over.
Uh huh.
And
Well, Doc was falling apart, and then didn't
yep,
Strawberry leave at the end of '90, and he went
yeah,
to the
and that's
Dodgers.
when they really went in the toilet.
Yeah,
That's when they brought in Coleman to replace him, and Bobby, of course. Hi, Bobby.
Right. Yes, we're still
Don't show
paying
me the
both of those.
Bronx.
Bobby and Brett still getting checks. So cool.
Hey,
You knew.
future value of money, kids. Present value, future value.
Right. 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 So, well, I
No,
don't
I mean,
know.
I
I mean,
can't
some would
defend the
say, right? Like
Wilpons.
some would say it was smart to defer the money, and I think Bonilla and Saberhagen. I think for both of them, it's probably like cool. They're getting this check, but like, imagine if they had just gotten all that money and invested it then. Like, it'd be worth so much
Yeah.
more if they invested it
No,
properly.
exactly. And that's why the Wilpons agreed to it, because they thought they could get all those 10%, 20% returns from Madoff guaranteed.
Yeah, and they did for about a
Yeah.
year until they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, we could do a whole show on how they
No.
didn't have to
Let's
sell.
not get off track. But like, yeah, the Magic does.
So
pop
those
sometimes,
two
and it goes away.
seasons, right? And then like the whole '90s were just a fucking disaster until we hired Bobby V and got Piazza, right? So that was like '98,
98 or 99. So 99 is one of my favorite teams of all time.
Okay, that's the
They might be
Agbayani team.
top 5. Yeah, that was like the greatest infield ever team. The Ricky and Roger on top of the order team. Piazza, Olerud, and Alfonso were just absolutely raking. First year of Robin Ventura.
Yep.
I love that team. That team I thought was better than the Mike Hampton team the year after. Either way, like those are 2 great years, right?
Yep.
Yep. Both ended very disappointingly.
Yep.
Like losing the Yankees in the World Series, that wasn't fun, man. That was a really depressing. Just for me personally, that was not a party,
dude. So I remember it very well. I was in Lynchburg, Virginia, in college. Lynchburg, Virginia. Do you know where that is? Right. Nobody does. It's not. It's like in the foothills of the Blue
Sounds
Hill
very
Mountain.
very liberal town.
Yeah, yeah. Very liberal, very liberal. So the point I bring that up is I'm watching the World Series at the fraternity house, drinking beers at a party. I remember the fucking home run that Benitez gave up. That kind of like set the tone for the World Series.
And Timo not running out the Todd Zeal double, right? Not scoring on that play.
Right.
I think that was the insurance run, and then Benitez blows it. Who knows? But yeah.
I think you're right. But my point is, in Lynchburg, Virginia, surrounded by bandwagon Yankee fans cheering on the Yankees, I'm literally the only Mets fan in the entire place because I'm a true fan. And I got people that don't, there were some people from New York, but most of them were just bandwagon fans that like the Yankees when they were good, right? So
It
was not a fun time, to your point. So yeah, then what did we have after that? We had a lot of years.
2006. So I argue 2006 was one of my favorite years too. I mean, that team was dominant. Kind of similar to 88, actually, right? They should have done a lot more. So,
well, I mean, the pitching fell apart.
More fun than 06?
I think this was more fun than 06 because it was like the slow, painful death in 06. It was like, okay, Pedro's out.
Yeah.
Okay, El Duque's out. Yeah, we lost our whole pitching staff. Yeah, Steve Traxler's pitching Game 7. Right.
We had like
the human rain delay.
And Ali Perez. Oh, yeah. Well, Steve Traxler.
Right. I can't. And Ali Perez was still pitching as of like 2 years ago. If we had taken bets in 06, who would still be pitching in like 2022? Like Ali Perez probably would have been the last guy I would have chosen, right? So that was always like, oh wow, this guy's still fucking around. Interesting.
Well, he had a good year or two as a starter. At least struck out a bunch of people. He
couldn't find a strike zone. He was
he became a lefty. He became a loogie. So that's where you go when you're a lefty.
Yeah, it was great. It's great. Just like Joe Beimel. I don't know if you remember that guy, but
I do, but like him because he came through when Lynchburg.
He played for the Lynchburg Hillcats. He was their number 1 starter that year, and then he became a loogie in the majors, and he had a decent career. But like think about it. A-ball, number 1 starter for A-ball team.
Well, that's how it works, right?
Right. Yeah, they whittle their way through, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
But so 06 maybe not. 06 and 88 are kind of on the same level. Not 86. How about 2007, 8, 9? My God, a nightmare. and then like the numb sets in 2010 through 14, absolute barren era, Terry Collins. But suddenly 2015, August, team absolutely, or late July, absolutely blows up.
Yep.
And we make it to the World Series, something only the
Hold
2000 Mets
hold on though. You
have done in
forgot
our lifetime.
one key thing.
Did I forget a season?
No, you didn't forget a season. No. You forgot that at the trade deadline in 2015, we made a big move instead of fucking these little ancillary moves that propelled us.
And we took back a move we would have regretted too. Huh? That was a fun week.
Yes.
But yeah, the Yo trade.
Yep. And that's what actually propelled us to the World Series, right?
It really was. Yeah. Well, and Juan Uribe and Kelly Johnson, of course.
Of course.
They were. God, who was that? Who's in that bullpen? Addison Reed was insane that year, I think. Yep. Familia was lights out, obviously, till the playoffs, which typical Nets. Yep. Man. Anyway, that was a good time. We went to Game 5. We saw the Royals win.
Yeah. With my dad.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, and look, recency bias is in full effect here. Okay, guys, maybe we revisit this, but I think 2024 was more fun than 2015.
I really liked 2015.
I think it's better than 06 and 88. I'm not sure. And 99 too. It might be my second favorite year. I'm probably doing recency bias, but as a Mets fan, we don't have much to choose from.
No, we don't. I think I liked 2015 better until the very end. I think, if you remember, that whole season was like Harvey was going into his walk year, and
oh god, yeah,
and they were talking about whether he was going to stop at 100 innings.
It wasn't a walk year, but like,
or maybe it was like the year before his walk year,
arbitration
Boris,
year.
But Boris
but we
put him on.
We also had DeGrom and Syndergaard popping, and Wheeler,
yep.
although he was hurt. I mean, the future was pretty bright, actually.
Right. So similar to 86, where it should have lasted longer, but it didn't, right? But anyway, I really enjoyed 2015 a lot because Harvey was my favorite player, and he came out and said, fuck the innings. And he literally ruined his career for that team.
He really did. Well,
and maybe there was cocaine involved as well.
But that's a great segue. In case anyone's watching who doesn't know this, and I'm doubting it, but I went to Game 5 last week, and Game 5, do you know who threw out the first pitch?
I believe it was Matt Harvey.
It certainly was. To who? Do you know who caught the ball?
I don't.
It was Yo. Yo was in the house.
Really? That's cool.
They were up there on the big screen, looking old. Dude, we're all old now. What the fuck?
I know, dude.
But yeah, they did that, and then the Temptations came out and did not only the anthem, but then right into My Girl. Just incredible. Right before Lindor came up. So, did they bring the Temptations back out? Obviously, the Dodgers hit first, but either way, Friday night at Citi was just magical. It was a party. We got a lot of tension out, right? It's 12 runs. I'm sure watching on TV was a lot of fun too, because like we just hit the shit out of Flaherty, right? And but it was mayhem. We were on the left field line on field level, waving to Brandon, and it's just a great time. And dude, that place gets live. Citi Field fucking rocks, and I think we're finally making some memories there, which is good.
Yeah. It's awesome.
But the vibes were so good with this fan base right now, even though we lost. I really believe that. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'd like to spend some time. Like, I'll tell you, I think we both can agree it's top 3 seasons we've ever had. And this,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In our lifetime. And I think.
Yeah. Like, no disrespect to the old timers. We weren't there. 69.
No. But I think what I'd like to, we've reminisced a little bit here, and just to mention, I went to Game 2, so we are the good luck charms of the Mets. We should have gone to all the games. Right?
It was 2-0.
Yeah, Went to Game 2, sat in left field, got to see left field bleachers next to the media. Like I was up in the upper deck. It was funny, dude. So the night that the Game 5 of the Padres Dodgers. I went online and I'm like, and the Mets had already clinched, right? So it was the night the Mets clinched, beat the Phillies. Padres Dodgers were going. It wasn't. It was game 4. And the Padres were up 2-1. The Dodgers won, and so that night I went home and I was like, all right, game. And the next morning, game 5 was going to go off, or maybe 2 days later. I can't remember it time right now, but I was like, I'm going to gamble and buy tickets for both because I was going to one game, right? And I knew that Monday at 1:00 was the game 2, and I was like, that's perfect. I'm not trying to go to a Sunday night game. That seems aggressive, but Monday at 1:00, I can get there and not have to deal with all the craziness. So I went on the Padres first because I love Petco. It's my favorite stadium, and I was like, I'll definitely go to San Diego. We'll make a day out of it. It'll be cool. And the Padres had put into effect zip code restriction on purchasing tickets to Dodger fans. Well, it was to keep the Dodger fans out.
Dodgers fans, wow.
For the Dodger fans, but I think they still had it.
That's petty as fuck.
They still had it intact for the game 5. Yeah, so I guess I'm right on the line or something. I don't know.
You are.
Yeah, I'm actually closer to LA than I am to San Diego. So. And then, so I couldn't buy tickets to Petco, but then I went on to Dodgers, and there was like, let's say for the game 2, there was probably 1,000 tickets left total in the whole stadium. And I think the place holds like 50,000 people. So I was able to get direct tickets, upper deck, $150 a piece.
Oof.
Wasn't
direct.
I mean, yeah. For NLCS, 150 a ticket, I don't think it was terrible.
That's a hell of a deal. Like, we bought game 5 tickets after they won game 2, like immediately got on the computer and went to SeatGeek, and I saw field level at like 500. I'm like, just get it right there, and it was all the way out in the outfield, but no, good enough. Fucking field level. And it's New York, and it was SeatGeek. So I have no problem paying 500 ahead for something like that. And it was Friday at 5 p.m. on a beautiful, beautiful New York day. The weather was great. We got there early. It was just a great day. So, well done, Steve Cohen. It's a good product out there. They just got to work on the neighborhood, obviously, right? Like the surroundings.
They're trying. I mean, they're just getting all the pushback from all the
New York
people. So it'll happen eventually. But once they get rid of those chop shops and they buy all those places out, move on.
So. Did you get the usual parking lot shit at Chavez Ravine?
No, it was actually
more classy crowd because
it was a classy crowd because they had to pay a lot for those tickets.
Checked out crowd, right? They're all.
No, I mean it was Monday at 1:00. So yeah, you weren't you were getting the diehards, you were getting the diehards, and you were getting like the corporate people.
Okay, like Tobey Maguire isn't going to the 1 p.m. game, huh?
I don't know if Tobey Maguire was there. I was sitting way too far away. But I can tell you, like, there was a lot more Mets fans there than I expected. Not that we didn't take over the stadium, but there was probably, I would say, 5% of the fan base was Met fans on a Monday game 2, which was cool.
We're everywhere. And when you're only good once a decade, we fucking come out of the woodwork when we're good.
Yep, and we found each other, and we were definitely happy to find each other.
Around here, just everyone was repping Mets stuff.
Yep, no Dodger fans at Citi Field.
Oh God, there were like 2 right behind us, and they were miserable. I loved it.
So Doug, I have to tell you this. So we were out in left field, upper deck, and all Dodger fans except me. My father-in-law came with me, and he wore an '86 strawberry jersey and a Mets hat because he's.
I thought he was a Dodgers fan.
He's an Angels fan. He's an Angels fan. So me and him go, and then I had my client was there with his one of his buddies, and it was actually his mom. It was his mom, him, me, and my father-in-law, and behind us, there was a Mets fan and a Dodger fan. And dude, they were buddies. And it reminded me of like the Dodger fan was so dejected after the Grand Slam, the Vientos Grand Slam. It reminded me of like me and you when we would go to games and the Mets would be losing, he was like, "Come on, hit the ball straight, you fucking idiot! You get paid to hit the ball." Like he was just like shitting all over his team, and I was just laughing the whole time. Like, this is great.
Oh, it's the best.
It is.
And by the way, that team is fucking stacked. I'm so like I'm an idiot for underestimating them because everybody was kind of throwing dirt on them after the second or third Padres game, right? And the pitching was decimated and blah blah blah. No, that's team is stacked.
The pitching was 100% decimated. We couldn't capitalize on it because
no, I mean we hit them, some of them, but yeah, you're right. Like Flaherty shut us down game one.
We couldn't hit because we take when you start looking at like the strategy of the two teams, right? The Mets take a lot of pitches to get to the bullpen. That's always been their game plan under Chavez. I don't hate it. It works in series, because if you do it in game one, by game three, you've usually taxed the bullpen and you can really go to town.
It really worked against the Brewers and the Phillies, right? We were just slapping everything through the hole and just keeping everything moving.
But we couldn't do it against the Dodgers because the Dodgers were just pounding the strike zone, and we were not able to.
And the opposite was happening. They weren't chasing like Quintana's pitches, for example.
And so that's the Dodgers have the lowest chase rate in the league. Yeah. So it was a really bad matchup for us because with our junk ball team, we don't have a flamethrower on our team. It's a bunch of junk baller starting pitching, which hopefully will change, which I'd like to get to after we get through these points.
Oh, dude, hey, we got all winter, so
we got all winter, but junk ballers throwing shit, trying to get chasing people to chase,
nibbling. Yep.
Nobody chased, and every time we came in the zone with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, they did not miss. And so,
but it was like the Phillies' kryptonite because they love swinging at shit, right? They just want to jack dongs all day.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Bryce Harper and fucking Nick Castellanos are fucking jacking dongs off all day. Oh my god,
jacking dongs. Hey.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
Anyway,
Douglas.
Look, the better team won. So like again,
the better team won,
and
the better team won.
Dodgers here against whatever team they're playing. I don't even know. And yeah, man, and now it's time. we just bounced a bunch of money off the payroll. It's gonna be a fun off season, dude. Remember
so what
last
do we do?
Off season? Everybody's like, "Oh God, we didn't spend any money."
We didn't.
This is going to be one of those off seasons where we get some toys. And
so what do you think, Doug? What do you think? Because I know we got all off season, but like
are we going to do Corbin Burns?
I think so.
Are we going to do Juan Soto?
I think we're going to be in on both of those guys.
Yeah, I mean we're going to make them offers. I can't get on this like, oh my God, we're getting Soto train. I can't do it.
Why?
Because it's a free market. I hope it happens, but the Dodgers and the Yankees and are all.
What did the Yankees? They are. What did the Yankees pay Aaron Judge? Like 8 years, like $360 million, I think is what it was.
I know that he turned down what like.
Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
I forget what the final one was. I forget it. He bet on himself.
8 years,
I remember that.
9 years, $360 million, which is $40 million a year, right? So they already got a $40 million player. Hal Steinbrenner has notoriously not liked to spend money since he's taken over the team. When was the last time they had like he's got Garrett Cole making $30+ million this year too. So is he going to spend? It's probably going to take a 10 to 15 year, $600 million contract with Lance Soto. He's going to get the second biggest contract ever. It's going to be right behind Ohtani, and he's probably not going to defer money. Which, by the way, I now understand that contract. I actually had a Dodger fan break it down for me when we were at the game. My buddy that I went to the game with. I'm like, this contract's bull. We're just let me wax poetically for a second because you saw the Ohtani contract. It's like 10 years, $700 million with what was it, like
Most of it deferred, right?
650 million deferred, right? I think he's
My
making
question
like
is like, does that get around California taxes?
it gets
Yeah,
around U.S. taxes.
it's always the taxes. Yeah,
It gets around all the
whatever.
taxes, and that's why they did it. So then it made sense to me. He's going to get $650 million tax free
Yeah,
after he
because I
finishes
mean,
playing, and he already makes $50 million a year from New
yeah, and
Balance
like he
and
already
everything
has too
else.
much money from like all the endorsements and everything too. Like he's
Right,
fine. Yeah,
totally fine
he had his boy like spending what 8 figures behind his
on his
back,
gambling. Yeah,
behind
behind
his
his back.
back.
Right, right.
Yeah, he's fine.
That's all. That's all forgotten right now. That's all. They're like, shit. Well, we could do what they did to Jordan and
Yeah.
suspend him for a year and let him go
You
play
imagine that? That's
something
how
else,
this year started off.
right?
It's been
And
a crazy year.
nobody even talks about it anymore.
Well,
'Cause
anyway, like back to the Soto. I know. Back to the Soto thing. It's just ridiculous. Um, it's a really interesting spot, right? If the Yankees win this series, are they more apt to let him go or more apt to keep him?
can the Yankees compete with Steve Cohen at the end of the day? Do the Yankees
I
want to pay
think
him?
they'll try because they don't want to be the second class
But
team.
$600 million, Doug, with no deferrals. That shit's. I mean, unless we're getting like some other crazy idea, like, oh, we'll send it to you into the Dominican after you retire. I don't know, man. But
I,
like
yeah.
$600 million. So first of all, you're gonna have to give him a 15-year deal, right? Because he's gonna want to play till he's 41. I don't
How
think
old
he's
is
gonna
he?
want
27?
26.
26.
So he's
Yeah.
gonna want to play till he's 40. So it's gonna be a 15-year deal.
And
And
he
if
gets to
it's
ask for his whole career. Like, lock me up. Yep.
yeah, and if he wants a 15-year deal, Shohei's getting $70 million a year. Is he going to ask for $60 million a year? Maybe it's a 900. Maybe it goes to 15 years, 900 million,
How long
and
is the Otani contract?
it's only 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to double check that. But
No, but he's older, so I think by a
yeah,
couple of years at least, right? No,
yeah. I think he's like 31. Let's see.
someone will break the
Shohei
build
Ohtani got
value,
a 10-year, $70 million deal, $680 million deferred until the end of the deal. So as soon as the deal's up, it's deferred, and he makes $2 million a year. And let's just look at his age. I want to say he's 31.
I thought he was younger than
30.
that.
He's 30.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
he's 30.
Either way, there's going to be a billion-dollar player someday. Is Juan Soto going to be the guy? Probably not, but I agree with you. I think it's going to, like, the total is going to be higher than Otani's, right?
Yeah, I think
Like
the
times
total.
the
I think
years.
the total times
Yeah.
the years. I don't think the annual is going to be higher.
No, yeah, not annual. He's not better
So
than
I
Otani.
think nobody is, and
No,
he's also not dual. Can't play dual, right? So Otani next
right.
year comes back and is also now
Oh,
their number
God.
one starter. So I think he's going to get a
If they got into
15
Game
year.
7, would they bring him out for the bullpen?
They just said Roberts just said yesterday that he's not pitching in this series at all, but he probably could have if. I mean, could that change? He said it's not happening. Could have changed maybe.
It's a
So
ring. So
right. I think 15 years. I think somewhere around 900 million is what Soto is going to get. And are the Yankees going to do that? I've never. I mean, Hal has not been willing to spend that kind of money. You're
no, that's true.
talking, and I don't know how much his jersey sales and all that stuff was, but
I don't see
I
many
think
endorsements here.
all I'm going to tell you, yeah, you would know better than me. I don't see Juan Soto anywhere, but I can tell you, Steve can do that and not blink an eye.
He could do it.
Yeah, and especially since it's even though it's $60 million a year amortized, like, and that's your right fielder for the next, at least 10 years. He can play right field.
And believe me,
36.
Uncle Stevie's going to advise him on how to dodge the IRS. I mean,
dude,
there are ways.
You and Josh have this thought that we can't get him. I'm not saying we're gonna get him, but
I didn't say
think
we can't get him. I just remember when you were like, we're getting Otani, and I'm like, how are you so sure? That's all I'm saying.
I just thought because of the money, I didn't know,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, but look at that. Look at the deal that he agreed to. Like, winning's more important to him, right? Because he spent 6 years on the fucking Angels. I guess that makes sense. So for Soto, after he's already got a ring, he's maybe going to get another one now, and it's going to be all
God,
about
I
the money.
forgot he has a ring already.
Yeah, it's going to be all about the money. It's going to be all about the money, right? And does he want to play second fiddle to Aaron Judge in New York? Because who's more popular in New York on the Yankees? I argue it's Judge. I think Judge is the guy right now.
It's Judge by a mile. And
so
that's a good point. And he's proven he can play in New York.
And it's not like he didn't have a shit year, man. He didn't have a shit year. So he could come over here. You could plug him in the right field. And,
dude, now you're getting my hopes up. Now you get my.
What am I supposed to do? Like, I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy. I want to be the guy to get your hopes up.
That's fair. Yeah, we're not having a doom and gloom show.
I'm not saying we're going to get him because the Yankees pose a threat. I don't know if the Dodgers are going to be in the market for him, but maybe. But
you can't count out the Pirates. They throw money around like ridiculous.
Yes, this is true. I think it's going to come down to the Mets, Yankees, and maybe the Dodgers.
It's going to be the fucking Braves.
If he goes to the Braves and goes for if he goes to the Braves for like a under market contract, like he goes for like 10 years, like $15 million dollars a year, because I just want to be a part of this team, man.
10 years, $150, and free car service from Cobb County.
Right, exactly. So I think we got a shot there, and I think with Corbin Burnes we have a shot there as well. He's got the relationship with Stearns. I think he's an ace. He's got everything you need. He's proven he can pitch. He's durable. He can pitch 190 innings a year for the last 3 years.
Lionel Richie video where the blind lady makes the clay head of him with the jerry curlers on.
I've never seen that video before. Okay.
Is it me you're looking for? What?
Oh, dude.
What do you mean you haven't seen that? Anyway, no, that's a great point about Burnes. Sorry to take it off track. We're gonna have to show you that video, maybe on here.
I'll YouTube it.
We can't do copyrighted stuff on here, so you're gonna have to YouTube it. But the free agent list this year is actually quite enticing. I don't know if you've seen the whole thing. There's a lot of quality out there. Your boy Christian Walker didn't even make the top 10. Walker and Alonso did not make the athletic top 10 of free agents. It just goes to show you how deep it is this year. And that's why I think it's going to be a fun year, no matter who it is.
So that's a good segue. Like to your point, there is some pitching out there, and I think Stearns knew this last year. There's some pitching, there's some outfielders, there's some infielders. What do you ideally, if you could do, just forget like realistic? What would you do if you could just make it happen? Like, yes, sign this guy, sign this guy, sign this guy.
Soto. So how many? It depends how many starters we need, and I haven't really. I was more focused on this season than planning it, but
we need.
So Senga's going to be back. Peterson's going to be back. That's kind of Blackburn.
McGill's going to be back, and Blackburn is going to be back, but he just underwent back surgery.
Yeah. So they just added. They can add at least 2 starters. It depends what the budget is here, man, and Soto's going to be a lot of it, but I think we need 2 starters or 3, and one of those guys can be like Manaea or Severino. I'm fine with that, dude. Sean Manaea has earned a ton of money. He deserves it. Give it to him. If it's the Mets, cool. If it's elsewhere, man, thank you. What a year by him and Sevy, honestly.
Yeah.
So I wish I had the list up. I don't. We could talk about like I'm blanking after Burnes.
Max Fried.
Fried's out there. Wow.
Yep. So if we can bring Manaea back and we can sign Corbin Burnes, and we got Burnes, Senga, Manaea, Peterson, and then either McGill or Blackburn as your like 5, I'm okay with that, right? So. I would love that.
Well, I guess it's kind of toast, but there's some guys coming up too. So yeah, and in terms of bats, we need to add an outfielder. You agree, right? And
yes, we need an outfielder.
Figure out Pete.
Yes. So do you bring back Pete?
I
Right?
do. I do. I do. I don't know what he's asking for, but I do.
You do. You bring him back.
You
You
guys
let him.
almost got me to turn on him in early October, and then he hit that home run in Milwaukee.
Yes, he
I
made
don't know,
he
man.
made he made all Mets fans forget about the worst season he's ever had as a Met.
Yeah, and
And even though the
he had a
worst
couple
season
more home runs this offseason.
he did, he the worst season he ever had, the worst regular season he's ever had as a Met was still 34 home runs and 88 RBIs.
Yeah,
But a sub
I
800
mean,
OPS, and that was what really got me this year. Is his batting average with runners in scoring position was the worst of his career, and I don't know if he was pressing too hard for the contract or what, but yeah,
yeah,
you
they had this problem with BABIP last year too. But that said, he's not a superstar. He's more of a top 10, borderline top 5 first baseman in the league. He's more like top 10 first baseman in the league.
you don't think he's a superstar? I think Pete's a superstar.
He's an all-star.
I think that he's been the face of this franchise for a long time, and I
Lindor
think
is.
this
Well,
year,
yeah,
I think
I
that
guess Pete.
I think it shifted this year. I think Pete was until this year. I think
Well, Pete's a
Lindor
New
is
York superstar. I agree with you. So,
he's
like, the
but
market
he's
might tell him that he'll get the most money here by staying because we love him. Like, he'll get a few extra bucks for the Mets, right?
totally.
Um,
But do
I
you
don't
want
know, but
8 years of this guy? That's the question. Because his bat
it,
speed,
it'll
when
be
it
like
goes,
Andy
it's
Daniels. It'll be bad at the end and good in the beginning.
right.
I think they should keep him, but I could also see someone like Chicago just throwing him a ton of money and he bounces.
I think he's going to do everything he can to stay as long as the money is
I believe that.
close.
Yeah.
But if we don't sign him, I would like to sign Christian Walker for a shorter deal.
Yep.
He's a
Well,
he's
yeah,
a gold
he's definitely the backup plan.
Gold Glover had pretty much the same stats last year. Better batting average with runners in scoring position.
And
So
we've given Pete a lot of credit, and he looks like he makes great plays because he's always like flopping around, right? But like statistically, he's middle of the pack at best
which
overall.
is he's come a long way from being one
He
of the worst
has. He works
defensive.
his ass off. Yes.
He
So not to
does.
demean it.
He does, but I will say in that game that I went to, game 2, he almost gave that game back by letting that ground ball go under his glove. I mean, that was that
That
inning.
inning was.
I was ripping my fucking hair out. I mean,
Oh,
Iglesias, who's a Gold
that was
Glover,
the inning Jenny came home and she saw me pacing around the place, just like, and she stayed in her car to listen to the Howie call. God bless this lady. She stayed to find the Howie call and stay in her car until that inning was over because she's like, I got to see this through. But yeah, Jenny's a full on fucking Mets fan. I've ruined her.
that's
Sorry,
good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's where we want to be.
It's
We
a good
want
thing.
full on Mets fans.
Well, that's the thing. We're not losers anymore, yo. Things are
Hopefully,
gonna change. I can feel it.
hopefully,
It's the Mets, but goddamn, that was fun. And this offseason is gonna be fun, right?
yeah. I think so. I
Let's
think
go
to your
nuts in the
point,
bullpen too.
let's go nuts in the bullpen. I like it. The guy that that Lindor hit the grand slam off of. Why not bring him in? That guy would look nice as a setup guy.
Oh God, Williams, yeah.
No,
He
it
could
was
take over,
Carlos Estevez or Estrada.
Oh,
the guy
Estevez,
from
my bad.
yeah,
I'm thinking of Pete. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I don't know. He's an angel, so his
he
arms don't
was,
fall.
but he throws 100 miles an hour, and if
Yeah, no,
he's
they can use they need another fireballer. I agree. God, who's coming back from that crew?
I looked at
I'm
it the other
blanking now.
day. We got in the
It's not
bullpen.
Stanek or Maton necessarily, right?
Stanek is a free agent. Maton has a team option. We could just re-up his team option, but it's like 7.5 mil. I don't know.
That's borderline call.
Yeah, some say it's too much. I don't know, for Cohen to just lock him in.
The poor guy has the worst vibes on the team. It's just his
He,
facial expression up there.
yeah, he's got
Like
RBF.
giving him a lot of shit. Yeah.
Definitely has RBF. He always looks like
It looks
he's
like he just
upset.
doesn't want to be out there. We
Right,
might have said this on another show, but it's like, oh, I hate pitching. Fuck.
right. But he's a junk baller. He's another junk
Yeah.
baller, right? So I don't know. He was fine. He definitely
He
had some
was
big
okay.
innings, but he gave up a lot of. He also gave up a lot of big innings.
A lot of
Stanek,
haters.
I would bring Stanek back for sure.
He had a hell of a postseason.
He did, and he
during
knows how to pitch in the
regular
postseason.
season. Yeah.
Ottavino, I think we already got rid of him. If we didn't, then we should.
He's the last man, fine, in the bullpen.
Right. No,
Dude,
I don't even want him
is
to be
hurt.
I'd rather that be Tyler McGill at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's just
nope. So Drew's probably not coming back.
Drew Smith and Brooks Raley are both out for most of the year.
I'm blanking on who else they have, but yeah.
Besides Maton and Stanek and Diaz and Ottavino, and we have
Stearns is pretty good at building a bullpen. So
yeah, I'm not too overly concerned. We have Danny Young and Alex Young are both under contract. If those guys work, we have.
Reed Garrett.
Yeah, we got Reed Garrett still under contract. So we'll see. We'll see him put pieces together. But if we could sign one high leverage guy, I think that would be helpful.
At least.
And maybe it's bringing Stanek back. I don't know.
And a lefty too.
Yeah, a nice high leverage lefty. Tanner Scott, I believe, is a free agent. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
There you go.
So we'll see.
So
are you going to watch any of the World Series?
Good question. I usually do not. And that was my first reaction, but game one's here tonight. I might take a peek.
Sure. I will not be watching any of it. I couldn't care less. I hope these two teams just.
I'm usually like that.
Beat the shit out of each other and go seven and see, last man standing, grind it out, whatever. So.
New York, LA. I mean, it's a hell of a matchup on paper, and maybe it'll help the sport. I had a doctor's appointment today, and the doctor was talking about how baseball used to be more popular in like the 60s, 70s, 80s when he was growing up. And he's like, this is going to help baseball, like Ohtani Judge. I'm like, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if the rest of the country, Freudian slip, cares about it, though. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, how about those Jets?
So you predicted correctly. They stink. The season is over, and I mean, I don't know, man. I saw one hopeful thing the other day in 2004 when we won the division. We started out 2-5. Yeah, great.
All right.
Yeah, and our division isn't great, so I guess there's that. But
division is really bad. But
yes.
Are you gonna go into like Cincinnati or Buffalo in round 2 and fuck them up? Probably not.
I don't know, man. I mean,
let alone Baltimore and Kansas City, right?
Right. So let's let it play out. I don't know. After we lost last week,
help at all?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, Doug. It's utter chaos right now.
Are you excited Hassan is finally back? Sorry.
No. I'm not excited about any of this. None of this is fun. We still can't run the ball. Yeah. All of the vets that we signed are like kind of falling off the fucking cliff. Tyron Smith has been terrible this year. Morgan Moses has not been great. Breece Hall still can't run the ball. This is the second year in a row that our offensive line has just been fucking terrible at run blocking. I think Downing becoming the play caller has helped. Devontae Adams is going to help now that he's got a little bit more time. Aaron is beat to shit right now because he's gotten hit so many times. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. Defense hasn't looked great. Jermaine Johnson was a huge injury in game 2 that we don't talk enough about.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Well, we haven't done a show in a while for some reason, and we should have done more shows during that run, but whatever. A lot going on, but were you like okay, whatever, when they fired Salah?
Yeah, he had like gotten annoying at that point. Like nothing about him was working and hadn't worked.
Man, you sound real down bad.
Yeah, there was.
That's a good.
After 4 years, when you're making the same fucking
Yeah.
mistakes and your team is getting penalized 13 times for 100 yards, and you're losing games to the Broncos 10-9 when your fucking defense
That
is
was
playing a
so
rookie
bad.
quarterback and gives up 60 yards passing,
Right.
like I don't know, man.
What are we doing?
Enough. Yeah, what are we doing here? Like you can, and like it was very clear that Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh hated each other, and like they publicly never said it, but I mean, come on. So I don't know, man. Ulbrich comes in. I like him. I think he's going to be a head coach. I don't know if he'll be our head coach after this year, but he'll get a chance to be a head coach somewhere, and he'll probably be successful. It's a fucking shit show right now. Woody Johnson has made it the Woody Johnson show now, although it's probably always been the Woody Johnson show. Aaron Rodgers has made it the Aaron Rodgers show, and I've never had a problem with that, but he's not executing this year. And I don't know if he's not executing because he's old or the rest of the team sucks. I feel like there's a bunch of. I feel like the team has become very selfish. You know, Garrett Wilson's all about let me get mine, and it seems like Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers also don't like each other. The defense,
something's off, right?
Something's off, man, and so I don't know.
Well,
I guess
everybody was
Devontae
telling
had
these
like
guys that they were going to be a great team before they did shit. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right. So I don't know. It kind of sucks because we have Brees, Jermaine, Sauce, Garrett, and
so much young talent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really don't think we're going to retain these guys. I think they're all going to wear out their welcome. I think they're going to blow everything up. If this year doesn't get better, they're going to blow everything up. And I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to go back into rebuild mode again.
Hamster wheel.
Yeah, man. 13 years of being in rebuild is not fun. So I've really, to be quite honest with you, I've never had less fun watching a season than this season. Like even last year when the season ended on the season ended on. Oh, I'm talking football. The season ended on the fourth play of the fucking year last year, and I at least got some hope. Zach Wilson, he's going to turn into something. Whatever. This year, just like I don't even care, man. I've kind of written the season off and the NFL.
Thank God the Mets were distracting you for a while.
We
barely talked about the NFL this year. And as a Giants fan, allow me to reach across the aisle with a proposal that we nuke Meadowlands or whatever they call it, MetLife Stadium from orbit, and just start over somewhere else because ground is cursed, man.
Neither of our teams are good.
It's not fun on the Giants side either. It's like I don't know what year it is, basically.
Well, I think Mara came out and said, Shane and Dable are going to get to run it back next year, right? So, how do you feel about that?
That doesn't mean anything. He said the same thing about Judge.
That's true. Doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. There's still no offensive line. Thomas is out again for the year. Daniel Jones is still there. He has that injury clause hanging over us now. It's like, watch him get hurt Sunday, and then we can't cut him.
Didn't they go to Drew Lock last game?
They did, but Danny's starting again. On the bright side, Dexter, the D line is wrecking shit. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that, but
paid so little attention in football up until now.
Yeah, they're 1 or 2 in sacks in the league, especially since week 3 or 4. They've been great, and even with Tibbs going down, Ojulari's stepped up, but everything else is just it's just diarrhea as usual. They have the fewest points scored in the NFC. I don't know. Neighbors is back, but they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do shit against Philly. They're just outclassed as usual. And I was gonna be like, okay, well, at least if we're gonna lose a lot, we'll be in good position for a quarterback. But here are the teams that I figured out today, and let me know if you agree with these with this. But here are the teams that will also be tanking for a quarterback. You ready?
Yep.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Cleveland.
Yep.
What do you think about Carolina?
Probably Carolina? Carolina's going to move on. Unless Young starting this weekend. So if he
does get
puts it together. Yeah, if he puts it together,
So
maybe.
that's
But
three.
yep,
Las Vegas Raiders.
100%.
What and now the next three are I'm going to leave up to you. Yes or no? These New Orleans Saints.
I don't know, man. They started off good and then they just got so injured. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Derek Carr, I think they can move on from him after this year, but I don't know what they're going to do.
but like they have Rattler, but is he the franchise plan? I don't know. All right, so that's a maybe. Here's one for you: Miami Dolphins.
I don't know. Tua's coming back this week, so we got to see how he performs, but he's one concussion away from retirement.
Right. Exactly. So that's TBD. They're 2-5 as well, right? And
Yeah.
finally, you know who? New York Jets.
They're definitely going to be looking for a quarterback this year. And then if you look, so all that being said, if
So
you
that
look,
was what, 7 teams probably.
but
Plus the Giants.
you guys, who has the worst record out of all the teams? Is it Tennessee,
Tennessee and
Carolina?
Cleveland have 1 win.
So does Carolina too.
Oh yeah, and Carolina, and then the rest, all those teams have 2 wins.
The Giants have 2 wins.
Yeah. Who did they beat? They randomly beat Seattle. Remember that? And they beat I want to say Cleveland. I'm not sure.
Oh God!
Again, like this is like the Terry Collins Mets years. At this point, it's all just gray goo, gray sludge. It washes over.
So
we're punting again.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a couple of quarterbacks that are going to shake free in the next free agency.
Sam Darnold, looking good.
Well, I mean, he's probably going to, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's probably going to get franchised and then traded to someone. You know, it's going to cost you a little bit more than just a free agent signing. So there's Darnold. Carr might shake free, and then Kirk Cousins might also shake free, right? He hasn't been doing very well in his respective home.
Well, and then you still got they put up like 50 points.
You still got Justin Fields too, who got the Steelers.
So Fields is what I wanted to bring up, because if they're really going to cook with Russ, which he's been discussed as a trade candidate, I'd welcome him to the Giants. It was rumored that Miami was thinking about him.
Justin Fields?
Yeah. But again, Tua.
Right.
I know there are a couple of quarterbacks though, you're right.
So we'll see. You know, it's not like the past 15 years where the past 3 or 4 years you could still get a decent quarterback in free agency, as opposed to the last
out pretty hard though, too.
Yes, 100%.
As we
all know,
year 2 of Aaron Rodgers and 2 wins, I believe.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, that face. Great. You're just like.
I mean, what do you want me to say, man? I didn't I don't know, man. Not literally nothing.
No, that's perfect answer. You're just
like nothing they've done over the last 15 years has worked. Woody Johnson is a meddling owner that doesn't hire. He hires people that he wants to control instead of letting people do their jobs. Joe Douglas.
Wilpons.
Yeah, Joe Douglas is okay. He's done some really great trades, but he's never developed a quarterback, and he's never developed an offensive line. Our offensive line has sucked.
And they have never made the playoffs under him.
No. His offensive.
What year is this?
This is year 6. They've never made the playoffs under fucking Douglas. Their offensive line has never been developed under Douglas. It's ridiculous. And he came from Baltimore, where that's all they did. And he came from Philly, where 2 of the best offensive lines in the NFL for the last decade or plus. And he was an offensive lineman. And he can't draft him, and he can't fucking develop him. our
Got
defense
to
is
salt
great. We
that
can
earth.
develop defenders all day. We've developed
Mhm.
safeties. We've developed linebackers. We've
You
developed
guys have
defensive
wasted so many
linemen.
top-notch defenses.
So, dude, it's fucking stupid.
Going back to
And
Revis.
and you would think with a great defense, we'd want to run the ball, but we could never develop an offensive line to run the ball. And granted, like last year, we had so many fucking injuries. Like I don't even count last year. It was dumb.
It was
But
stupid.
like you got with the line we have right now, and we still can't run the ball. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, the guys we have one of the best pass blocking lines in the NFL, but we can't run the ball. So there's no balance. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. No. Fuck the NFL. I don't care. The Chiefs again are like 7-0. They are winning like 19-17 now. It's dumb.
They just got D-Hop, and he's gonna like not do much in fantasy, but they'll win again.
Yeah, they'll keep winning because the AFC is garbage right now. Everyone's either rebuilding or like trying to figure something out. Who else is good in the AFC right now? The Ravens.
And the Chiefs own them, so
yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's nobody else, bro. The Chargers are like rebuilding. The Raiders are rebuilding.
It's like Buffalo and Cincy are kind of contenders, but they're beatable.
Yes,
I thought you guys had a shot on Buffalo this year. I don't think you did.
I mean, we should have beat them that game, but we couldn't fucking score again. I mean, our red zone efficiency, I think, is worse than the NFL with Aaron Rodgers.
Than the Giants.
I believe percentage wise, we're worse than any team in the NFL.
Yeah, we had that one game against Washington where we put up that point. Anyway, I'm with you. I'm basically watching Red Zone as usual on Sundays.
Yep, because I just don't want to get mad watching the Jets. 100%. Right. So,
I try. I really do with the Giants. It's like, oh, another punt. Oh, another punt. Oh, another punt.
Yeah, great.
Oh, look, another 7-yard pass to Wandale. 3rd and 12.
Correct. Well, yay! Such great play calling. Well, Doug,
I've seen a bunch of Super Bowls. I don't want to be petulant, so yeah.
I hate to cut us short.
You're at work, so I'll let you get back to work.
I got to get back to work. It was good to catch up, though. It was good to catch up and get to where we needed to be.
Guys. But let's go, Mets. What a year.
What a year. Let's go, Mets. Any Vaya con Dios?
Vaya con Dios. We got some LA flavor. Fernando Valenzuela, of course.
Yeah, man.
That was that legend from when we were kids.
Yep.
And I'm sure like a demigod out in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
Like for real.
Definitely. Demigod for sure.
And of course the New York Mets. Do you have any?
Those were the two, Douglas. You nailed them as per usual.
That's what
Audience, it's been great. We'll see you next time.
Vaya con Dios.
All right. Sorry, man. Yeah, I definitely have a meeting right now, unfortunately.
That was 42 minutes of just